So you mentioned that you support, for instance, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or at least something along those lines.
I support building relationships with foreign governments that are grounded in a fair doctrine.
Yeah. So I guess my question would just be if the U.S. is to sort of take a more involved role in world trade, obviously that has certain impacts on jobs in the United States. What steps do you think would be important to offset help the people who maybe, even if we're generally being helped by this, the people who are being hurt by certain trade deals and international deals like this?
Again, great question, a question that sadly was not asked back in the 80s and 90s. When I got laid off from my job and was out of work for a couple of years, the federal government gave me a seminar on how to put my resume together and write a job application to try and get another job as a geologist. This was a time when roughly 10,000 geologists lost their jobs. There were no jobs for me to apply to, and yet that was the best the federal government could do. In any trade agreement, there are going to be winners and losers. The harder you work and the more successfully you negotiate, you can diminish the impact on the various industries that are disadvantaged and on the workers in those industries that would be disadvantaged. That said, there's still going to be some losers at some level, and we have, I think, they're winners, and the winners have to help subsidize the retraining, and it's got to be more than just retraining. I believe we have to allow workers to establish just like an IRA, a savings account that would give them work security. So it would allow them to get more training. It would allow them to move to a different community or a different city or a different state if they wanted to. Allow them more freedom when you lose your job and profession, because we're probably going to lose, whatever the trade agreement is, we're going to have some losses there. But we know that just through automation and artificial intelligence, we're going to suffer far more losses, far more dislocation, more industries that are going to disappear. And the only solution to that is to, again, make sure that people are given the opportunity to recreate their future. And that comes from skills training. As I said earlier, we want to make sure that retirement and healthcare can be portable. That should be an overarching goal that we need to establish, because we're going to have more flexibility in how we define and create our careers. So that should all be part of the same system. In other words, these individual freedom accounts.
So China, I think, is becoming increasingly influential in the international sphere, technologically, economically, diplomatically. Trump has, I guess, tried to manage this by pulling out of agreements like the Trans-Pacific Partnership, like you were talking about, and imposing a series of tariffs on the Chinese government. As president, do you think that it would be more, I guess, beneficial for American interests to contain China and prevent a potential challenge to American leadership, or to try to engage with China as they become more prominent on the international sphere?
Again, I think it has to be a combination of the two. You have to have continuous engagement, but you also need that alliance, that framework of other global economic powers to be able to have leverage on China and not let them cheat on their international agreements, and not let them